How's she going, folks? It's your host, John,
And I am Levi.
and welcome to Oh For Heaven's Sake.
Today we have a very special guest on our second episode of the sponsorship series. NEC graduate in exercise science, totally pro golfer, former podcaster, father of 3 kids, and owner of Finley On The Roof. Ryan Finley, what's going on this morning?
How's it going, fellas? I would like to say, it kind of hurt a little bit when you said formally podcaster. We need to start chewing the fat. You hear that, Brad? We're going to chew it.
You know what? We're just going to dive right into that, actually, because that was one of my questions. How did that podcast start, and why did it stop?
That is a great question. I don't know how it started. We were probably just hanging out, and we probably thought it would be funny if people could hear us talk, even though I don't know how funny it was. There was a couple funny moments in Chew the Fat, I thought, especially the one with Brad hunting. Why it stopped, I want to say it gets tough. I think it was during COVID. I don't remember how long we podcasted when we started. I probably should look this up. But it could have been during COVID. We couldn't stay 6 feet apart. And so that could have been a problem right there. And then just with like schedules and during Christmas light season for me and he's personal training, we kind of had some schedule conflicts there. And so then we just need to get back rolling into it.
Gotta get moving again. Gotta start chewing it.
Yeah, we got those 6 episodes in and we ran out of material.
And just why did you call it Chew the Fat specifically?
Well, have you ever heard the term chew the fat?
Explain.
Well, you just basically are just talking. You're just chewing the fat.
Okay.
And then with the exercise science, stuff, and it was kind of like a play on words there with fat,
Yeah.
but you chew it.
You gotta get rid of that.
But you
gotta
chew
get
it.
rid of that fat. You don't want too much body fat.
That's right. You don't want too much chewing. You want a nice,
Nice even chew.
yeah.
All right, we're gonna pop a top and we're gonna open up our cans.
Pop it
here.
up. It's drink time. Ooh, crisp.
Oh, baby. That's been waiting.
All right, what drinks do we have today? Ryan, you start.
Well, I got a little chaos in my life, so I brought myself a Monster Chaotic. If you want more chaos, Monster Chaotic.
Whoa, they're not a sponsor yet, though. You can't be doing that.
Oh, that's right. They only sponsor me. I forgot.
Yeah. For me, we have the Celsius Fantasy vibe. It makes you feel like you're in a marshmallow cloud.
And Mountain Dew Zero Sugar, kind of a mainstay on the podcast. I feel like it's either that or root beer every single time, but maybe we're gonna mix it up here soon.
You had Dr. Pepper last episode.
Whoa,
Yeah.
watcher,
Wow.
he's viewing it. But let's get into the questions, folks.
Well,
It's
yeah,
gonna
he's
get serious here.
interrogate you. He's
Let's
gonna
go.
It's gonna be bad.
stare
here.
you down.
Do your worst.
All right, we're gonna start from the ground up. Kind of what we've been doing so far. What were your favorite memories just growing up in general?
Oh, man. Well, I grew up in Frontier, which is actually near Davies High School. I mean, actually, Davies is more south than Frontier now.
Yep.
Where when growing up in the 80s and 90s in Frontier, I used to ride my bike to Centennial, and 25th was a gravel road.
Oh,
And
boy.
52nd was a one-way lane, and it had about a foot to ride my bike. Well, cars are zipping by at 55 miles an hour, so that was a little sketchy. But just growing up in Frontier, and back then, there was actually young kids that lived around there, and so we had fun playing ditch at night. And so like the neighborhood would have like one house would be home base,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd use the entire city of Frontier to hide.
Yeah.
And so we would just play all night and then sprinting through all the yards. And I don't know if anybody liked that, but we did. And doing that and then hanging out with my brothers and playing football in the backyard. We had some turkey bowl. Do you remember turkey bowl?
It was a great time. I definitely had some great memories on Thanksgiving. doing
Correct. That was the Thanksgiving football game that's fizzled out because we're all getting old. And you guys are going to have to take over here pretty soon,
Yeah.
the young kids. But yeah, just growing up in Frontier and hanging out with friends and being able to play in that big yard was awesome.
Mhm. You have torn up a Carson Wentz Eagle shirt playing the Turkey Bowl back in the day.
Oh, nice.
I
The one
remember
tree
that.
in the way, I hit that tree
The
somehow.
one tree.
Yep.
Yep. Back in the old podcast days, I remember you talked about doing that stuff in the Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah, it's been a while since that one, but let's just go right into the next question here. How was school like for you? Did you like school? Favorite, subjects just growing up?
I enjoyed school. I hated math, and I still hate math. I still got to use my fingers for 5 + 3. I really enjoyed like biology and kind of the anatomy stuff. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed. Now we're going into college, but I like kinesiology. And oh boy, yeah. I was one of the rare kids that I know that I enjoyed school. A lot of kids hated it. I liked it just because you got to see all your friends, and I got along with all my teachers. Some classes didn't get the best grades,
Yeah.
but especially English. That's tough.
Yeah.
But no, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed school.
You'd think, speaking English would be pretty easy.
You'd
the
think
class,
so.
but it's sometimes a challenge. However, do you have any like friends that are like from elementary school, middle school, high school that you still talk to this day?
Oh yeah, I have. Well, Nate Bruns, I actually didn't even know him that well in high school, but we ended up rooming together at NDSU, and we lived together for like 6 or 7 years after or during college and post college, and we still hang out today. Still talk to a handful of others. I have another one that's a pretty crazy story. His name is Phil Fox, who actually was the intro to Chew the Fat. He made
Great
the
intro.
Yes, he made the intro to that. And I met him in 6th grade. He was a kid that didn't know how to open up a lock, one of those spin locks.
Those are a challenge.
Yeah, and he
Those
struggled.
are a
We were
challenge.
6th grade, and I helped him do it, and I was teaching him how to do it, and we became friends from that. And he got his locker open. I remember we screamed and fist pumped. And he was also a fellow Miami Dolphin fan, which is rare to find around these parts. And he moved away after 1 year, and I still talk to him from 6th grade. He moved away, and we still keep in contact today. That's probably the craziest one.
Yeah. We got to get a guy
Next
to do
thing
our
to
intro.
know.
Maybe that guy.
He will do it.
It's
If
pretty
you
impressive.
want a good lifeline friend, just open their locker.
Open their
Yeah.
locker. Just be nice.
Yeah.
That is an important one. I know you're kind of talking too about teachers. Do you have any like remarkable teachers that where you're like, yeah, that's kind of a cool person? Or do you have a teacher that you absolutely despise?
I didn't despise any teachers. I had a couple that come to mind right away would be Mark Bailiff, who was my math teacher for 2 years in a row. We got along great, and he'd always talk about how the 1% ruins everything for the other 99%, which is true in a lot of cases. And my English teacher, oh my goodness. Why am I missing his name right now? I can picture him. He looks like a goat. God, it's been so long. But anyway, my buddy Alex Kingsley and I, we stole his doughboy from his desk, and we held it for ransom for 2 years. And then we ended up giving it back when we graduated. But those are the two that stick out right away.
Speaking of Alex Kingsley, fantasy football.
Yes.
That's
Yeah, that's coming
best
up.
time. Yeah, I'm already ready. I got
You
big
got your
boards
big board
ready.
ready? Yeah, my goodness. I stopped paying attention. I'm doing, and it shows.
You're the first pick in the draft. Who you going with?
I know. Oh, boy. Let's see who the Dolphins draft. I'm going to take a defense and Chop Robinson.
Yeah.
Can't play.
That would be definitely something. Mojo, do you have a question here?
Yeah. So, like I said, mine are very general, kind of get to know you questions, but I feel like this is important, for people to really understand what makes you tick.
That's right.
So, first one is a very important one. Are you a morning or a night person?
Definitely a night person. I don't sleep. I will be up, and especially if my brain's going, like I can't have a hard time falling asleep, and I will start deep diving into the Twitter world or something and start watching like winter car crashes for 20, 30 minutes.
Winter car crashes.
Well, it's just like I see one. It'll be like, hey, check out this 7-car pileup that happened on I-94 near, how far does that go? I don't know, wherever it's snowing. And you see a bunch of like things sliding. I'm like, huh. And then you check the comments and then there's more of them.
Yep.
And you click on that one and you just get down this rabbit hole and start watching car crashes all night.
Gets locked in the Twitterverse.
Right.
It's something. Nah, it's like I'm always thinking about football, the Vikings, or I just get caught up listening to JJ McCarthy interviews and stuff, just trying to learn about the guy. It's like, I watch stuff about him and all stuff. You don't really get to know the person, So
Right.
I'm trying to figure out if this, is a guy that actually has a good chance at,
Oh, absolutely.
figuring it out in the NFL, because a lot of it's probably just personality and drive, because he has the talent,
Start Facebook creeping them or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I mean,
Are you supposed to keep drinking these, or you guys let them go lukewarm all podcast?
No, I've been sipping on
Okay,
mine.
I didn't
it's a
know.
sipper.
Like,
It's a sipper.
Don't worry, you can have a little
I
sip.
didn't know. I was like, maybe I should set this off to the side, and that was it. Just the sponsors.
Yeah.
Just alongside the kind of the sports that I kind of just rambled on about. What sports did you play growing up, and why?
I ran track. Track was probably my main sport that I was really good at. And I loved to jump. And I used to be able to jump really well. And now I'm just old. But
Just cramping and
right.
pulling stuff.
Oh yeah, hamstrings ripping off my bone. I had my parents actually were really good with letting us do like AAU track meets. So we used to go around the country and do track meets. Like I've been to Virginia running track. We went to Florida. We went to South Dakota.
Helps you get better.
Montana. Yeah, we were everywhere. And so that was probably my main sport along with basketball. Because I was tall. I used to be tall, believe it or not. I mean, I'm still 6'1" 3/4.
Well, he's got that down to the T.
But I was 6'1" 3/4 in 8th, 9th grade.
Yeah.
And so I was huge, and I was a center for my entire life until about junior in high school, when everybody shot up past me. And now it's like, holy smokes, I'm basically the size of a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
And a long time ago, centers didn't dribble. All we did was like down the block, get the ball, one dribble, up and under, whatever. And I wasn't very good at dribbling, and so I kind of faltered there in the basketball. But I used to do traveling basketball too.
I couldn't dribble to save my life. I honestly didn't realize AAU was more than just basketball, because I've heard of it obviously for basketball.
Oh, yeah.
But
And Hershey's track.
what is that?
So that was sponsored by Hershey's, and actually we went to the Pennsylvania Hershey's what do you would call it, factory, when we had the Nationals there at Hershey's, Pennsylvania, and got to go look at chocolate.
Yeah, but the real question is, did you eat any?
Oh yeah, of course. I was young. I would eat it now, I guess, so it doesn't matter. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I was young.
Yeah, I was
but,
young. We were the first. Do you guys know what Hugs are?
Hugs.
Hershey's Hugs?
No, I do not.
I've never heard of those.
Enlighten us.
I don't even know if they make them anymore, but they were a Hershey Kiss with white chocolate. And so it was white chocolate, and it was swirled looking.
Yeah.
And
I think they still make those.
They call them Hugs, and we were the first group. They weren't even out yet, and we were at the banquet for the Hershey's track meet, and they had them on the table.
Yeah.
And those were the first ones out. So that was pretty cool.
You were the beta tester.
That's right. Back in 1920.
You're to make
when
sure if they were
Hugs
good
came
or
out.
not.
If you died, they kept it on the down low.
Yep.
Yeah, no. And then if everybody spit it out, they're like, "Oh, that didn't work."
Yep.
But they were delicious.
So, kind of just keep moving our way up. First jobs.
Holy smokes!
What jobs did you
You
have
know that
growing
I've
up?
had 23 jobs.
Oh boy, bro's been bouncing. and
Yes,
bouncing.
I had to check one day. Actually, I think I was at MPF back in the day when I was writing them down, and it was well, maybe it's more than that now. But my first jobs were Fleet Farm.
Okay.
I worked back in the lumber yard, crashing into things with the forklift, and then I had I worked for Dippin'
Forklift
Dots.
certified.
He was forklift certified.
I was for a short period of time, and then I got it taken away.
He was whipping too many donuts.
I crashed into too many things. And then, I worked for Dippin' Dots. I worked for Dr. Furco, pulling weeds out of
Wow.
fields.
Wow.
I did some landscaping. I've done...
This is a really diversified portfolio.
I know.
I hoed beets. I worked for Barrel of Fun. I worked for Hornbachers, World Vets. I mean, it goes crazy. But I would say the longest one that I stayed in when I was younger was Hornbachers.
Good little grocery store.
It was.
Good part-time job.
It was great.
What'd you do there?
I was originally a bagger, and I was killing it as a bagger.
Oh yeah,
I
he
would
was
crush
just
it.
arranging those groceries. and
Oh
just-
yeah, it's like you got to see what's coming down the conveyor belt and be able to pack.
It
Accordingly.
improves your reaction time.
Oh yeah, great. It was like a cat-like reflex. And then I switched to frozen food and dairy, where I stayed for probably like 5 years in frozen food and dairy, and would pack some ice cream and
Eat some ice cream.
eat some ice cream. Yeah, because if it was damaged, you weren't supposed to eat it. But every once in a while, you'd have some like cookie dough, and you accidentally took your box cutter and dug it in a little too deep and cut the top layer so you could eat some cookie dough during the day.
Accidentally.
Accidentally. Allegedly, I would eat some cookie dough in the back.
Well, kind of going off this, what would you say right now? You may be working at right now, but what would you say would be your dream job?
Like, if you could choose,
If you could choose
Dream job.
anything in the world, maybe you want to be I don't know, like an astronaut.
I mean, I'd vomit doing the testing there where they spin them in that,
Yeah,
that
like the
gravitational
G-force
pull thing. Yeah. I've thought about this before. What I'm doing right now is awesome, but there's maybe one step up. But this has got to be probably like a retirement job because I'm going to be gone a lot. But the people that secretly rate resorts, they get to go to like these sweet resorts in like Mexico or Cancun or whatever, all over the world, and they don't know that you're one of those like reviewers,
yeah,
and you stay in their resorts and you get it all paid for, and just basically rate how the experience is.
the Yelp reviewer.
Next thing, all you
Okay.
know is just you're gonna see a TV show and it's just gonna be starring you, and it's gonna be like undercover resort.
That's right. That's right. Flying with Finley.
Today we're going to be going to Mexico here.
That's
That'd be
right.
great.
And I'm just podcasting the whole time so they know it's me.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go MPF because you used to work at MPF. I know a couple stories.
Yeah.
I kind of want to hear a couple stories from you working at MPF.
Just general?
Just general stories.
Well, I know, Brad, we spilled the beans. Actually, you guessed who it was when he had this med ball slamming in the face and then the lady hanging off the treadmill. He said I was laughing. I was laughing probably because it was a nervous laugh.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how else to respond when you have someone hanging off a treadmill. But at 3 miles an hour. Oh, boy. We used to have a lot of fun with the videos. I think that's one thing that I really enjoyed was we would just make just stupid funny videos that would get interaction with the clients and doing like the end of the world videos and the sled pull races. Actually, you were probably in that one. I think you were in the background doing a little sledge chopping when you were like 6.
You gotta start lifting early, and I
Yep.
gotta get in shape.
Right, and then just like coming in the morning, sometimes I'd bring a Sambo for your dad, and which was a egg and sausage or bacon McMuffin type thing, and it was just fun. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed hanging out with Brad and doing the athlete stuff. We would pair up with that. I think I had the Shanley soccer team, and your dad would be yelling at the 10-year-old kids, wanting them to get better. And then there's me. It was like good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
Brad was the bad cop.
You gotta push
Get
them.
better.
That's
oh,
right.
you're doing great.
Yeah, you guys are doing great. You want to get better?
Yeah.
Run through the line.
Yeah. Mosier, you got the next one
Whoa. Okay.
on the spot.
On the spot. All right. So I gotta know what you'll be watching lately. So, what is a TV show you would recommend to the viewers?
What do you
what's a TV
personally
show you've been
indulge in?
watching? Yeah, what are you indulging in when you're watching something?
Just really recently here has been I didn't know what the heck it was, but it was Baby Reindeer. Have you heard of that?
Oh, yeah, actually, I've
On
seen it on
Netflix?
Netflix.
Yeah.
I haven't
It
watched
is.
it, but
It is really intriguing, and I guess it's a true story, but it's wild. And so I kind of started binging that and probably watched 4 episodes in one sitting. But are you talking all time or just in
Yeah,
general?
well, yeah. Honestly, what is an all-time TV show for you?
or movie.
Or movie?
Or
You know,
movie?
it can be a movie too, or maybe both. Maybe you want to do both.
Well, all-time comedy's got to be Dumb and Dumber.
Yep,
Of course.
it's my favorite.
Yeah, that's hilarious, well written, very clever, and really dumb. All-time series. Oh, I think that Breaking Bad was really, really good.
That's a classic. So
yeah.
many people love Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad was really good. Comedy series. Now I'm old, so it's going to be Seinfeld. The Curb Enthusiasm is funny. Dexter. Prison Break was good. Actually, there's a off one that's like a MMA fighting one called Kingdom.
Whoa.
Nobody's ever heard of it,
Never heard of that.
and it is crazy good. But yeah, it's like follows this Kalina family, and they're just a family of MMA fighters, and they get into shenanigans like series do. But it's really good, so I'd recommend that one for sure.
I'd say is like social media has been, popping lately. It's been so much harder
for the
for
past 10 years.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's getting progressively harder and harder to get like in series, in my opinion.
I
Like I don't
feel
really
ya, like,
watch
the
stuff.
last 2 TV shows I watched was The Last of Us, that one on HBO Max. Just because I played the games. That's the only reason why.
What's a game?
Yeah, it is a game. It's based off a game. It's a PlayStation only game. That's why a lot of people haven't.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's one of those exclusives. And then Breaking Bad, actually. It was
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
one of the, just because, I've seen so many things about it, so I finally decided to watch, and let's just say they were cooking.
Yeah, you're exactly. Bryan Cranston is an incredible actor, and he's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And so is Jesse Pinkman, whatever his name is. He was really good.
Oh yeah, he plays a stoner very well. Let's just say.
Yes, he does.
All right. We're going to dive into our sponsors here. So obviously we got Finley on the Roof here. Of course.
Get my checkbook out after this year.
Yep, he's gonna sign us over his business actually.
Doing their sponsorship
And then the light
series.
shut up.
Yep.
Next episode, I think people can kind of guess it's going to be Mahana Fresh, just based off of that's the last sponsor we have.
Hopefully, please Cooper Wallow, please.
Yeah. But let's talk about MPF. Obviously, our podcast
we're
is
kind of like
located
in
here.
here.
It's great way to get in shape, increase agility, explosiveness. There is a good cop, bad cop situation still with John Bond. I'd say he's the good cop now.
Yeah, he does. He took over the good cop.
It's a great place. I work out here, and I'm happy. I'm satisfied.
It's only like slightly more than going to Planet Fitness, only slightly more. So, just go here instead.
Yeah, it's more of a community. I feel like it's more of a family community here than it would be at like Anytime Fitness or Planet Fitness or any of those, where it's like if you want to have a community of people that are trying to get to the same goals as you are and have fun at the same time, that's a win-win in my situation.
We're working together.
I could say I've went to Crunch, and let's just say, yeah, it's kind of just you do your own stuff and then you go. Just come and go as you please.
All right, we're going to go into our next sponsor, Mahana Fresh. Mojo, you get the line.
Eat fresh, feel fresh, refresh. Mahana Fresh, 100% developed in the house. Let me tell you.
Yeah, we just made that line up. Eat fresh.
Did you really?
Yeah,
feel
I did.
Fresh, refresh.
I think they should honestly pay me for it. I think that would be a great slogan.
It's a nice line.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just like it's a good place to eat.
It's the Subway of Hawaiian style bowls.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good options. It's very close by. It's actually just by Cheyenne there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hop, skip, and a jump from here.
If you're thinking about slamming down some pizza at Papa Murphy's,
Yeah,
look
Better
to the
think
left.
look to the left. Just go in there instead. Trust me, you'll be more full and you'll just feel better.
Okay, now we're going to
Wait, I just thought about this. Papa Murphy's is take and bake, so you're just eating the pizza raw.
No. You're pre-planning of getting the pizza. You have time to make your healthy choice.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know how I said you're essentially, a pro golfer at this rate.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna ask about golf. Do you have a tee time today?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I knew it.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the nicest day we've had in
Yeah.
2 weeks.
So, what got you into golf?
Brady Swedberg.
Whoa, he has it connected to a person.
Yes, he is a friend of mine who actually, I don't know if he still is or not, but he was a pro golfer. He was golfing out of Arizona, and I just really enjoyed watching him golf. And he kind of would give me some lessons, and I was terrible. And I just started getting hooked on the golf. And he actually, I would always ask him, like, hey, what kind of golf clubs do you think I should get? And he'd send me a link. These would be great for you. Buy them. And then he would give me more lessons. And so that's where it really started becoming an addiction. And this is going to be where I got to confess I'm addicted to golf. But
No.
yeah.
Do
it's
we need
bad.
to sit down and talk about
Yes,
this?
it's bad. But I just enjoy it so much because it's always different. Even if every round is different because the ball's never in the same spot and you got to get creative on how you're going to get out of certain situations in the trees or whatever. And I find that really fun and being able to like play different shots differently and hopefully get a good result, but that happens every once in a while.
Or if it's just me and Levi, just line drive it everywhere. You know, there's
Right.
really no other option.
So,
I
yeah.
used to play with your dad quite often, actually, back in the day, and he still
Now
has.
he's gotten big time, and now he doesn't want to golf anymore.
Yeah. We used to go quite often together, and I mean, he even showed me a couple weeks ago. He has his scorecard still,
Yeah.
and he was beating me. That punk. Not anymore. I'd crush him.
Yeah, it's just the one thing about golf is like if you like, struggle with your shot, you kind of get the
money.
Well,
That's
yeah,
the one
It's
thing
an
about
expensive
golf.
hobby.
It is very expensive. Do you have custom clubs?
I do because I guess I'm a T-Rex, and when I got measured for my clubs, my wrist to floor ratio, he said, was would be similar to someone who's 6 feet 9 inches tall. So I am a T-Rex. And so mine are actually 2 inches longer than standard.
Whoa, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. And I lead with the toe down with my natural swing, and so actually it's bent up at 3 degrees flat. And so that helps hit the ball cleaner.
And people say golf is not a pay-to-win sport.
Yeah.
I think it is.
No,
Yeah,
it
you
takes
gotta-
time. It takes time.
It takes a lot of time.
But yeah, the one thing with golf is like with the addiction part, it's like the start you're like terrible, but
Mhm.
like the main thing is you just got to keep practicing and practicing. It's the form is something obviously that eventually you'll learn through practice and like people helping training you, but it's something that you have to like repeat so many times in a
Yep.
row. So it's just with all that practice, eventually you'll get better at repeating it. And
One of the
repeating
best quotes that I heard recently was, you have to work really hard to get marginally better at golf,
it.
Yeah.
which is so true. Like the better you get, the harder it is to get better.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, when you're right away raw, like you right now, I bet you could get better. If you started playing a lot, Levi, I bet you would get better really quick. But once you hit that spot where it's like, now I really got to work at it to get my
Yeah.
score lower. And that's what takes so much time, is just getting marginally better
Mhm.
with a lot of work.
Yeah, that's why we prefer playing Scramble. Just makes it
That's
easier.
right. That's right.
Scramble is really nice though.
I do
It's
like
a-
that a lot. It was really fun when we were at your lake place when we played Scramble.
It makes it easier to enjoy the experience. So we're all hitting,
It
and
takes
then
the
we just
pressure
take the
off.
best ball,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a better chance of getting a better score. But you're
Mhm.
still hitting every single shot, so it's not like you're hitting less and you're not necessarily getting better. It's just for taking the best ball.
You
Like-
wanted to get really stressed? You guys should play an alternating shot.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
that's
where John Bon Jovi over here hits a drive, and then you have to hit his second shot, and he has to hit your third shot, and then you start apologizing to people constantly all day, like, I'm sorry you're in the trees, that's my fault.
I remember when we were doing that golf, I hit that basically gold putt right in first shot, and that saved us for that round because we were already basically on our last shot by the time we got up there.
It's golf is at the beginning it's more of a game of luck, and then as you get more familiar with it, it's skill.
As your dad said after that shot, okay, I think we can feed you tonight.
Yeah. So next question.
So
actually, you know what, John, I'm gonna let you go change of pace question once again.
Alrighty. So obviously we just got done talking about golf. So obviously we know that that's a big pastime for you. But other than that, what would you say is your favorite way to spend a weekend?
I'm a kind of a freak, and I like manual labor. And if it's not golfing, like, I do enjoy yard work.
Like, I feel like
it's something that comes over time.
Right.
Well, no, I actually enjoy doing yard work right now. That's why I don't mind mowing for like my grandpa or something like that, because I take my time, get it nice. Like, my grandpa doesn't have that big of a lawn, but it takes me 2 hours because I make sure I get the crispest lines.
Oh yeah, that's satisfying.
Yeah.
That and grilling, like, I'm just like, well, I'm not as obsessed with like your dad, but I enjoy smoking meats, and grilling is really, really fun to me. And especially you do both at the same time. You can be smoking a brisket or something and mowing at the same time and smelling it.
Oh my gosh, now that is just ultimate dad
That's
mode.
nice. That is true.
So yeah, we were raking up the yard because my dad mowed, and there's chunks everywhere because grass is a little wet. He was chomping at the bit to mow, and he mowed a little
in the
early.
water.
Yeah,
Got all clogged.
But I enjoyed raking. It was just it was pretty relaxing. You hear the birds chirping. It was a great time.
Your yard wouldn't be too bad to rake. Now, if I was raking the acre, that would be pretty tough.
Yeah,
I'd get old pretty quick.
Speaking of dad mode, we'll go to that question. What is the best and worst part about being a parent?
Holy smokes. Well, I would say the best part is just, I know you guys are young, but having kids around is a very humbling experience, and just like how much you love them is like very hard to explain. And the joy that they bring, and seeing them happy is quite the experience. And I would say just seeing them succeed is very satisfying. And the worst part, you said?
Yeah. What's the hardest part? Worst part?
I would say right away, the hardest part is realizing that you can't be selfish.
Yeah.
Because they need you 100% when especially when they're younger. That would probably be the hardest thing. Like, if you can prepare as much as you want for having kids, but it's still gonna be pretty chaotic, especially if it's your first.
Yeah.
Because I would say, like, when you with pre-kids, you can do whatever you want. You can go, out to dinner. You can go golfing whenever you want. You can sit in the garage and have your friends over. But once those kids come, like, a lot of that's got to get cut out just to help them, to grow and to be healthy. And so that's probably the hardest part of being a parent, is realizing that you can't be selfish.
Right there is just some gold advice. I think more parents need to know that in this world, because there's a lot of interesting ones out there. You have these iPad kids now, which just goes to show that the parents just basically don't care.
Well, that is a struggle, because sometimes you do get tired and you're like, yeah, they can be on the iPad a little bit longer. But yeah, that is a struggle, like, because you don't want them to just sit there on the screen all day. Like, you want to get them outside and play, and actually get around and moving, instead of just sitting there like a bump on the log, like my mom used to tell me. I'm gonna rip that thing out of the wall, she would yell, because I was playing Sega.
Ooh, Sega.
Probably playing Sonic.
Your mom was actually mean growing up?
No.
I don't
She wasn't mean.
I couldn't tell you a time where she's been mad.
No, I can only picture a couple times where she was pretty mad at me. And one of the times I remember she yelled, I don't remember what it was about, but she said, "Do you think this is funny?" And when she said funny, her hair kind of did a flip thing, and I started laughing because I thought it was funny. And
You thought that was extremely funny.
yeah, that didn't go well. I was probably grounded.
Do you have any questions, John, about that?
Well,
I got some good ones here coming up.
yeah, Levi does have some good ones coming
Oh
up.
boy.
So,
Yeah,
if you
because this
wanna-
is going in raw here. I have no idea what
Yeah.
the questions are.
Mhm. So, I feel like food is an important thing for people. It what connects people together. You can have a banquet. It's an important part of life. You got to eat. So, my question is always going to be, what's your favorite food? But also follow with it to dive a little deeper. If you could get rid of one kind of region of food, what would it be?
Region of
Just
food.
get rid of it.
So like
completely. It's gone.
Italian, you have American. That's I didn't know the correct way to put it,
I'm
but
gonna offend half the world here coming up. No. Oh boy, my favorite food. See, I'm like a garbage disposal. I like so much. Oh man, the tops has got to be some sort of steak or like a tri-tip. Your dad's brisket or ribs are unreal. I've tried to cook brisket. I've made one good one my entire life, and I don't know how the heck your dad does it. But when brisket's cooked right, it's amazing.
Mhm.
So I'd say those are my tops, along with sushi. I love sushi from like Kobe's or Samurai.
I think it's something that grows on people. Because I really didn't like it, and now I really enjoy sushi.
sushi
Oh,
is
it's so
great.
good. It's so good.
It's always like raw fish, but it's like it's not that bad. Let's be honest though, most of the sushi that we do eat is cooked. So
Yeah,
because
it's
it
not
like
always
has
raw.
it has cooked ingredients.
you get the
in it.
tempura sushis, like
Yeah.
the fried like lobster or shrimp or whatever in them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, getting rid of a region of food. Just
Sick of
wipe
it.
it off.
Just you'll never be able to eat it ever again. Just gone in the dust.
I think the problem is I haven't had like probably a lot of it, so it's not like I'm gonna get rid of Timbuktu's food because I've never had it. I would say, oh man, I was gonna say like the Mediterranean stuff, but then I like gyros because I was like, some of that Mediterranean stuff's all right. Oh boy,
Yep.
guys.
See, this is a deep thinker.
See, I like Thai food. I like Chinese food. I like Mexican food. I like Italian food. See, I was gonna say get rid of American food, but then I like the steak. Can I move that over to like Brazil? Because Brazil has like the meats and stuff.
Mhm.
So I'd almost get rid of like hamburgers and hot dogs.
Hot dogs,
Actually-
honestly, is something I'm not a fan of at
Well,
all.
I'm not a fan of hot dogs, but you can't dismiss a good brat.
I know that's where it's tough.
Same shape, but completely different form.
different flavor.
Because it's like if someone's gonna ask me, "Hey, do you want a burger or sushi?" I'm probably picking sushi. Oh my goodness, you guys.
Sushi's more fun. Yeah,
That one's a tough one. I'm getting rid of. I'm gonna get rid of Russians' food.
Oh,
Russia's going away.
when in doubt, get rid of Russia stuff.
You don't want
Don't even know
your
what they
cabbage
eat. Yeah.
soup.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
Yeah.
don't even know what they eat.
All right, we're gonna get back on track to
Cabbage soup.
Yeah, it is like one of their
Perfect.
big dishes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Done.
what is
Get
it
outta
again?
here.
Oh yeah, borscht. That's what it's called. It's
Yeah.
borscht.
Well, I hate borscht.
yeah. Nobody cares about that stuff. We're gonna get back on track to kind of our timeline here. So, how did you come up with Finley on the Roof?
He just kind of thought about it one day.
Are you talking as a company?
Yeah.
Funny story. I was working at MPF, and I was training a client of mine. Actually, this is kind of twofold. I was training a client also, obviously, and she was talking about her boyfriend opening up a new Christmas light company in Arizona. But he didn't know if he wanted to do it because he didn't have anybody to manage it. And I remember just saying out loud, I was like, I can manage that. And I was like, that'd be sweet living in Arizona. And she was like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. And so she gave me his number or whatever, and she was talking to him, and I was like, holy crap. I was like, maybe he'll be moving to Arizona. And he never got back to me, by the way. And so I never
Ghosted.
Yeah,
he
I
got
never heard
ghosted.
anything. Yeah, I never heard anything. And then I was kind of like, hey, why haven't I heard anything? He goes, well, he might want you more of in a sales position. I'm like, well, I don't want to sell stuff.
Bro's going to go door to door. Hey,
Yeah.
do you want to try out our new extra big Christmas lights?
Right. And so that seed was kind of planted in my head, and I was kind of thinking about it. And I was training another client, and it was around, November or something, and she was talking out loud, and she goes, or we were talking out loud, and I just said, oh, I suppose I better put up my parents' Christmas lights up this weekend, because I had always done it for years. Actually, Brad, your dad, has helped me before, back when he used to live with us. And then the client said, I wish my husband would get on the roof. And I was like, well, I'll do it for you. And so I did. I went to Home Depot, I think. Or can I say that out loud?
Yeah.
Are they sponsored?
Don't worry.
I went to a big box store.
Yeah.
And got some lights. And I'm very particular, and so I made it all straight. And I remember even measuring, to try to make it even, because you can't. They're all come in one length, and I made it all even. And then I believe her friends were asking who did it, and I was getting phone calls being like, "Hey, can you put up my Christmas lights?" And I was like, "I don't really do this."
You got the referrals,
right? And then I was training another client who is a great business mind, and he was kind of like, "You might want to look into this, because I think there must be a demand for it." And so then I started digging into it and learning that you can customize this kind of stuff, and started researching vendors, and I just started diving into it. And I remember my first order, because I had no idea what I was ordering, clicked on some stuff, ordered it. They called me and were like, hey, did you know that you had your socket cord is SPT1, but you ordered SPT2 plugs. Did you want to do that? And I was like, no.
Doesn't sound right.
Right. And I had no idea what I was talking about. And she's like, okay, I'll get those switched over to SPT1. I'm like, oh, okay. That sounds good. Thanks. I'm sorry. That was my mistake.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I just started, I got obsessed with how to customize, and learning how to do that, and just kind of snowballed from there.
So this is why you choose Finley on the Roof.
Right.
Yeah.
Self-taught.
Yeah, it's kind of cool how something that just became just doing something nice for someone just kind of tumbled its way into becoming a business.
I know, and it was a whirlwind, and I don't even know if your dad knows 100% of what all went into it, but it was a grind for a couple years there, where I would be making Christmas lights until like midnight and go to bed. And I'd wake up at 4:30 in the morning to do like a 5 a.m. I didn't do it with the 5 a.m.s very often, but I remember doing the 5 a.m.s, and I'd have a small break, and I'd leave and go start putting up the house, come back, personal train until 6, and then go back to that house, finish, go home, make Christmas lights till like midnight, and then just repeat. And it was exhausting.
The true entrepreneur mindset.
So there was just a house with like half lights.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I couldn't get it all done.
half
I
the
mean,
day.
now I probably could have, because I'm a lot faster now. But then I was scared out of my mind half the time, so I was going pretty slow.
Yeah, when you're starting a
It was
business,
like,
Yeah, right,
oh,
shaking.
that looks good.
Yeah. So when you're starting a business, you kind of just have to go all in, I feel like, and you gotta. It's just the best way to learn and grow. And
I
get more
wasn't all in
clients.
yet. I wasn't all in until I had to make a decision on, working at MPF or doing Christmas lights, because it was getting too much and it was growing so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to kind of pick a road, because I couldn't do both at the same time anymore. It was getting pretty rough. And so
There was a fork in the road, folks.
there was a fork, and it was a 2-pronged fork, so it's almost like a spork.
Yeah.
And so and then I ended up being like, with the scheduling and stuff, I decided Christmas lights, and it just took off from there.
Already. And then so obviously, since it's grown, you've done even bigger and bigger buildings with Christmas lights. What would you say is like the hardest one you've ever done? Like in terms of, like, it either be length, or maybe it's just really awkward and where you had to be to put them up.
I would say the hardest installs. The hardest installs, it's kind of a twofold question, because some of them are trees can be very difficult.
I bet those banks do it all the time. I swear every bank loves to wrap their trees.
Banks, I don't have any problems with banks. I mean, I feel like those are pretty good. It's like the big trees that they got to get a lift for and try to like squeeze in between the branches to get stuff wrapped. Those are difficult, but then the actual install of like on a house or building, there's a house that it's a steel roof. And it's huge. And it is scary. And I have these special boots that have magnets in the soles.
Magnet boots.
Yeah, they're called steel walkers, and so it connects to their steel roof. But this thing is steep. But I usually do that one pretty early on in September, and the steel is 120 degrees, and I'm sweating, and that doesn't help because then it gets slippery because I'm dripping all over it. But that one is anytime you got a steel roof and you got to walk it, that's sketchy and it's kind of scary. But thank goodness they got snow guards on there because I can kind of step on those for some. Oh, you know what? The food court at the mall is pretty difficult too.
Whoa, why is that?
Steel roof.
Oh, okay, steel roof.
And that one I actually use a rope and rappel.
Oh, actually?
Yep. I have a rope. I got actually permanent anchors up there on the corners. You probably can see them now if you want to really look. But they're up in the corner, and I got to connect to it and then have the lights around my neck because I got to use my hands, and then I rappel down this rope and then put the lights on the front there.
People are all just confused. What's going on?
I know.
Like,
It's got it's like a Mission Impossible up there.
Yeah, you know,
Except for it is possible.
Yeah.
Whoa. What would you say job that has taken you the longest? Like how many days?
Oh, the mall and time-wise, the mall might win. That one might be 10 days.
That is a long time for putting up Christmas lights.
All True was close. I think that one was 7 or 8. And then Sanford.
Which one?
All of them.
All of
that one's tough because I split that up because I do some indoor stuff there too, and so that one I would have to count. I'd have to look at the calendar, but that one's got to be close too. That one actually might be 2 weeks.
Whoa! Wow!
For all of that, 1, 2. Sorry, I'm like in my head looking at the calendar. Yeah, that one might be close. I mean, all 3 of those are my longest ones by a long shot.
Yeah. How would you say the new Sanford Hospital too? Like that really big, the tall one?
Yes. So that one actually only has, not only, but it's a 30-foot fake tree out front that has 18,700 lights in it.
Jeez, he has it down to the exact.
Oh, I know. And then
calculated right there.
Pulling 15.6 amps. And then inside it's just a little tree in there. So that one takes only two-ish days for that one.
All right.
But I don't go on the roof. That's actually neon, I think, at the very top there.
Okay.
So I don't get on top of the buildings there.
What's the hardest part about owning your own business?
I would say the employees, and finding the right employees is probably the hardest part for me, and finding good help. And I know it's a little bit different than your dad here at MPF, where I gotta worry about their safety. Mm-hmm. And so that stresses me out a little bit because I'm starting to trust them a little bit more. But I used to do all the hard work like on the peaks and stuff because I was so comfortable. Yeah. And just teaching them how to do things properly and safely. And I still get nervous, but just finding the right employees is tough. And then also second guessing all the time that you're running it correctly. Like, am I taking advantage of everything I need? Am I doing this right? Do I need to grow it faster, slower? Do I need to start cutting things out and just make it smaller and so more efficient? Like that, those questions always pop through my head on how big do I want to get it? Like, if it's bigger, is it going to be way more of a headache? Yeah. Am I going to be more stressed, or do I just keep it smaller and more efficient? And just be happy with, what I have now, which I do. But it's like, but then at the same time, you got to think about the employees and keeping them around. It's like, if it's bigger, I can pay them more, and they can hopefully pay them a year's salary.
So how many employees do you have?
Right now, I only have 2.
Okay.
And so 2 of us get through all 300 installs a year, and so it's a lot of work. But that's kind of where you're at that fork in the road again.
Whoa.
We're at the spork again.
Yeah.
No.
Where, hey, do we start hiring more people and getting a couple different crews going? And then I got to that's kind of like the big picture. It'd be like, hey, I got to start stepping back a little bit because I've been doing so much of it for so long that maybe I start stepping back and getting a couple crews going and just basically overseeing all of it. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. But that's probably the hardest part is just like, how do I grow it? Do I want to grow it? And how to start stepping back and trusting other people to do what I've been doing for so long.
Alrighty. So just going to have some quick rapid fires here.
We're on to the
Let's
rapid
go.
fire
Yep.
part.
So we're
here.
going to have some
Single
rapid fires
word
and then we're going to
answers.
get in
Yes.
and then we'll get into some sports. So do we have any pets?
No.
No.
Next.
Okay. Yeah, next.
Well,
Why?
rapid fire.
Why is that?
Because I don't want to. I love dogs. I really do. It kind of comes down to, again, Christmas lights and like who's going to take care of it during
True.
that time frame. Like I'm not home, and it's just and I feel like that's unfair to the dog. It's like I don't want to just lock it up inside all day.
Just have a little bird. That way you can help you hang up the lights.
I'll get I'll get a parrot talking back to me all day.
Alrighty. Favorite genre of music to listen to?
Holy smokes!
When you're putting up those lights, what gets you going?
Christmas. Christmas music. I am all over the board, you guys, of this one. I don't think I even have a favorite. I don't have a favorite. Because I'm anywhere from like Michael Jackson to some old rap. Like we're talking older. Like DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. And I got some Christian music on there. I got Dixie Chicks. I've got like
I do know that one.
Yeah, I've got some like what do you want to call it? Westernish, southern, almost like a Chris Stapleton type stuff. I don't even know what kind of genre they're even in. Is it like bluegrass maybe? I don't know, but no, I'm all over the board. I don't have a favorite.
Alrighty, sometimes
I
that's
don't.
the best.
Keeping it fresh.
Dabbling
Yeah,
into a
Mahana
little bit of
Fresh.
everything. Oh,
Yeah.
Unpromptu sponsor segment.
Yes. I'm dropping lines.
Alrighty, and then last one here. What's your dream car? What would be your dream whip?
I haven't thought about it forever, but I would say when I was a kid, it used to be, there was two of them. One was a Dodge Viper,
Yep.
which I don't think they make anymore, I'm assuming.
They don't make anymore. Nope. They quit. But I mean, you can't get wrong with a V10.
Right.
Basically, def coupe, because in the first generation there was absolutely no driver assistance whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. And then I really wanted a Mustang Cobra back in the day because I thought those were cool. I used to own a GTO.
Oh, actually, you had a GTO.
A 2006 GTO with a LS2 motor in it. I think it was LS2. Is that the one in the Corvette?
It is.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
LS is GM.
Yeah, I think it was a LS2 or something. 400 horsepower. That was fun to drive. Your dad drove it a couple times over in
400
Carver.
Purge.
Yeah, yep, in Carver. I literally haven't thought about that for years, but I remember that I really liked the Viper back in the day.
Yeah,
that was probably my number one that I'd go back to.
Yeah, that is a fun one. And then what are we driving today?
2010 Dodge Ram.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. I mean, pickups are so common up here. Let's be honest.
In a 1997 GMC step van.
Heck
Diesel.
yeah.
All right. Now it's time to get in the sports
Let's go.
realm. Got a few questions here.
Time for me to shrink in my hidey hole.
NDSU sports thoughts, just in general. Obviously we have the transfer portal stuff going on. Just what is your stance on the football team right now? After Eli Green has disappeared in the portal, gone forever.
I was
Aaron
really
Evans.
sad about that one. Because he was the main. I mean, I think he honestly was almost single-handedly keeping the team afloat there for a while. Just making those huge catches. Football team, I used to know. I used to be like, oh, they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Now I have zero idea.
Especially the new head coach. It's just like,
Yeah, I
it's
have
even gonna
zero
happen
idea.
now. It's like you can kind of trust Cam Miller because he's just got the experience. Like he might not be the greatest quarterback NDC's ever had, but he's he can keep the team rolling a little bit. It's more so just like O-line, D-line. Are we going to be as strong as SDSU? Are we going to get back up there? Don't know. And then the weapons are all uncertain because Eli Green's gone, and Zach Mathis is gone now. Now we just got some youngins. We got Mickey Collins, and who else do we even have? Carson Hagerly.
Yeah, I would say the running game is always going to be fine. I don't even care who it is.
We do have a new guy actually, and he's not necessarily new, but he was out the whole season, I believe, to injury. I'm blanking on the name, but he played a lot in that spring game, I believe. So I believe he's a sophomore. Couldn't tell you the name, but just keep an eye on that guy.
A guy.
Yeah,
A guy.
But I'm not worried about the run game. But
I'm never worried about the run game because their offensive line's always going to be good. They're always going to create holes. It's more of the wide receivers and quarterback that I worry about, where we had a run of an insanely ridiculous run of great quarterbacks that shouldn't even ever be possible in the FBS level or FCS level. Sorry. Cam's fine. He's good. It's more about the wide receivers, and I think both lines are always going to be fine, offense, defense line, but then you got to worry about the cornerbacks a little bit. I just worry about the state of NDSU football in the sense that I don't want history to repeat itself, where we were dominant in Division II for many years, and then we just waited too long, and we got worse and worse and worse, made the jump, we're okay, and started dominating again. And now I just don't want to wait too long again, where we start getting worse and worse and worse, and things get watered down.
Wait a minute.
I got the name. I just thought of it. No, Chamar Brown. He's got a nickname. That's why I was confused. But yeah, I
don't know
honestly,
if I hope we didn't miss it. We missed the boat.
Yeah, I think the thing that's really gonna bring us up to that next level is wide receivers, our weapons, because like you said, quarterback's gonna be fine. Run game's always gonna be good. It's more so later in the game, 2-minute drill even. We need some points on the board. Can we move quickly? And you can't really move quickly with a run game that's like, even if you are getting like 5 yards per carry, it's like it takes time.
Pass at some point.
Yeah. So
unless you're Georgia Southern back in the day. But that was we were really lucky for many years with Brock Jensen and Easton Stick and Trey Lance and Carson Wentz. You never had to worry about quarterback for over a decade.
4 NFL quarterbacks all in a row.
It's unbelievable.
All of them were drafted. Just crazy. Now it's time to get up to the big leagues. Speaking of drafted, hey, Dolphins fan? How'd you become a Dolphins fan, first of all?
I don't even remember. My earliest thought or earliest memory of the Dolphins, I was at a friend's house. This is back when we used to trade baseball cards. It's at a friend's house. I brought my cards over, and he really wanted my Minnesota Twins cards, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't care." And I was like, I want this one."
Yep.
And it was a Dan Marino football card, and I still have it to this day.
Whoa!
It's a 1984 record breaker card, and I got it at his house, and I still remember wanting that Dolphins card, and I don't know why. Why I became fan, I don't remember. I don't know if my brother Matt was a fan first. That I don't know, but I'm pretty confident it was Dan Marino that got me into it because they were on TV, because he was very good. And then it just never left. I've always been a Dolphins fan.
Speaking of Dan Marino, favorite Dolphins players of all time?
Yeah, Dan Marino, Zach Thomas.
Did he get accepted to the Hall of Fame this year?
He did.
There we go.
Just this past year or whatever, recently. Those are the two that stick out right away. We got, holy smokes, I got a lot of them. Now, if we're gonna go semi-recently or current time here, I really like Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, obviously. Actually, they have a great team. I just hope they can put it together.
Yeah.
But all time, Dan Marino, Zach Thomas, he was like the human bullet. He had a block face. He looked like he was
Yeah.
made in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Jason Taylor. I mean, they were awesome. And then they had the dark years. So there wasn't many great players there in the past 20 years.
Yeah. Dolphins draft thoughts. What are you thinking? The vibes high, low? What are we thinking?
You know, the draft is such a crapshoot. You can have all the analysts think that whatever they want to think, but you won't know for. I would say you got to wait at least a year or two to know if a draft class is good. Yeah, I think their 3rd round pick, Mo Camara, might be one of the better picks at. I think he's a linebacker.
5th round pick.
No, he was 3rd, wasn't he? He's 5th.
Yeah, I don't know how he fell to the 5th round. He's one of my favorite players, actually. He's
Yeah.
older. He's a
that's-
defensive end.
So that's my favorite pick then. I thought it was 3rd round.
He's very smart.
Right. And so that would be, hey, speaking of Zach Thomas,
Whoa.
Hall of Fame. Also, he was a linebacker, but he was in the 5th round.
Yeah.
So maybe this could be history repeating itself.
Yeah. Yeah, because Kamara had 13 sacks, tied for 3rd in the FBS. He was a 5th round pick.
I like
Kinda
him. He's
weird.
going to be tough.
Jalen Wright is kind of a questionable pick in my opinion because it's literally just like Devon A-Chain.
That
as
was
well,
interesting. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Now, Raheem Mostert
Was my favorite running back in the draft, though.
He maybe they just are trying to get his replacement. I don't know because Mostert's not going to be around much longer. I think he's 32 now.
He's getting up there,
31,
folks.
32. I mean, he's good, but yeah, I think maybe to go up in the draft to get a running back was surprising to me.
Yeah.
Chop Robinson, freak athlete, reminds me a little bit of Cam Wake with his first step explosiveness off the edge there. But yeah, no, they need some help on the line because, I mean, they got rid of Christian Wilkins. And then obviously with Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips, there's a lot of Jalen's on that team, by the way. Jalen Phillips getting hurt last year. Yeah, who knows? I mean, they might not come back 100%, so you got to beef up the lines.
Pork chop
And
Robinson.
Pork Chop Robinson, and they got demolished at the end of the year. The Dolphins did because they were probably a top. I don't know. I would put them in like the top 5, and then the injuries were unbelievable. They're made of glass, and then they struggled. They got bullied in the playoffs, or the last few games.
All right.
Toughen up.
We're going to get into our segments.
Whoa.
That's
That's how you know we're wrapping up here.
That's it. We're not doing more Dolphins. You know, your listeners don't want to hear about the Dolphins.
you got a tea time coming up here.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, come on. He's going to make it to the tea time. You know, he can't miss out.
I gotta start stretching.
Yeah.
Actually, that was one question that I did actually want to ask. What is your favorite golf course here in Fargo?
Ooh.
In Fargo, well, I'm a member at Mapleton, so I play that one often.
He's a loyalty member.
Yes. If I was going to go public golf course, I like Rose Creek. Rose Creek's pretty fun. Edgewood is very nice, but there are a lot of trees.
Yeah.
And if I hit one, I hate that. And then I got to punch it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I like going to the driving range at Rose Creek.
Yeah, me and
Great
Levi
driving
Rose
range.
Creek.
Pretty nice.
It's just so
Osgood
much
has a great driving
cheaper
range, too. Yeah.
than like going to like Top Golf or whatever.
Well,
Basically,
$15
Top Golf.
you can hit 100 golf balls.
Yeah.
I know.
Essentially.
Yeah, that's great. Got to get there soon eventually here. All right, now we're getting into the segments. For my segments, I have Today in History and Celebrity Birthdays. John's got Food of the Week, which he's got his own saying for that, but we'll get to that. And Quote of the Week. So I'm going to go with Today in History. May 7th. Very dry, to be honest here.
They're kind of
maybe
goofy.
recreate.
Well, it can't be any drier than the powdered
Yeah.
wig ones you were doing. Well, I got redhead Washington.
We might have to create some history today, folks. Maybe you're going to break the record golfing today, potentially. So we got a couple here. May 7th, 1843, because we're doing May 7th because Tuesday
we're
is when we
recent.
post. Yeah, 1843.
Jeez.
So got some random ones. First Japanese immigrant arrives in the U.S.
Wow.
Who would have thought?
Good for you.
Oh yeah, here we go. This is gonna be good one. May 7th, 1824. Beethoven drops Symphony Number 9.
Yeah,
He drops it.
Yeah, I like her saying that like he's like dropping his
in the
mixtape or
SoundCloud.
something.
Do you listen to Beethoven at all?
Beethoven's the
When you're-
man.
when you're
He's
putting
got
up
some
plates?
great songs.
Yeah, he just loves it, bro. Beethoven's got some bangers.
Have you seen what his writing looks like? Like his musical
I have
numbers,
not.
like handwritten ones? It looks like a mess. Looks like he was in a hurry to
Yeah.
drop it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just written all over the place. You should check that out.
He's got a lot of competition. You know, he had to,
Yeah,
he
you
had
had to hurry up and
that.
drop it. Yeah. Mozart was catching him.
So
This one's probably the one that makes the most sense. This one's like actually relevant.
okay, May 7th, 1915. Well, we're getting a
Getting,
little closer.
we're getting closer.
German submarine sinks to Lusitania,
Lusitania.
and
Mm-hmm.
this was the second largest ocean liner
Yeah.
launch at the time, only to the Titanic.
Yep. I actually knew that.
Whoa, you were there?
He
I was
there,
young,
bro.
but yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of the most interesting one, but also May 7th, 1902. We're going back a little bit. We're
Yeah, we're
backtracking.
jumping all over the board.
Mount Pelée begins to erupt, burying the Caribbean city. Wow, very
What?
crazy. And
Atlantis? What city?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the lost
It-
city of
the
Atlantis.
lost city of Atlantis. Yep. You know, not the greatest. You know, today in history, celebrity birthdays. Also, not too crazy. We got Mr. Beast. Do your kids watch him?
I think so. I know I've heard them say it, and we got sucked into watching somebody. He put somebody in a grocery store, and they had to live in the grocery store without any contact, and then he would get, I think it was 10,000 a day for how long he could stay.
I want to be on one of his
And
challenges.
And
Bro. I need that.
Yeah, and I was like, and it was seriously like a 20-minute video, and I fast forwarded most of it, but he made it till day 40 something, and so he got like almost basically $500,000.
Dang.
Kevin Owens. He's a wrestler. Did you ever watch the WWE growing up, or
Well, it was
whatever it was?
WWF.
WWF.
I
Whoa.
did. And my dad would tell me it was fake, and I didn't believe him, and so he would like pause it and show me that there was a gap between the punches and stuff.
He wanted to make sure you knew it was fake.
I guess.
He was really determined.
He was
Yeah.
analyzing.
Oh yeah, Randy Macho Man Savage,
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. I'm gonna really get you off the rails here. I'll stop talking.
Then we got a couple football ones. Just keep it notable because I don't really know many of the birthdays. But we got Alex Smith, Chiefs quarterback.
Oh yeah, duh.
Never heard of him.
Sounds generic.
Johnny Unitas.
Ooh,
Whoa.
He's uniting the world.
dude, how old is he?
I don't honestly
I
couldn't.
don't know. He's dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just gets the birthdays.
Yeah,
He doesn't
oh,
question
yeah.
if they're alive or not.
I was thinking of who's the New York guy, Namath. I was thinking Joe Namath. But anyway, go ahead.
The original Joe Cool.
Yep, yep.
And then Earl Thomas, the safety for the Legion of Boom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was definitely a time period. That's when defenses were.
Oh yeah, Steel Curtain and
Yeah.
Wait, no, Steel.
Well, that was
The
way
Iron
back, yeah.
Curtain.
The Iron Curtain. That's what I meant. Purple People Eaters.
Yeah, that was.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just gotten soft out there.
I know, man. Everybody's complaining.
All right.
Alrighty, now we're going into the Ofer subsidized dessert
Oh, for
of the
heaven's
week.
sakes.
And
This is a good one.
for this week, it's going to be Scotcheroos.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that one? Do you think that's a good one?
Scotcheroos. Yeah.
In my opinion, they slap.
Yeah,
as the cool kids say.
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
I think
They
they're pretty
hit
good.
diffy.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Alrighty, and then of course, you can't end the week off without a wonderful quote.
Quote of the week.
Today's one is, "You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today." And that is from ya boy Abe Lincoln.
Wow. Yeah, boy. Abe Lincoln.
What a guy.
Did you
Good
say Hey Blinken?
No,
Abe.
Abe
Honest.
Lincoln.
Honest Abe.
Yeah, honest
So
Abe.
we just
gotta
kind
be
of
true.
meshed it together. It's Habe now.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah. I hear
Alright.
he's dropping a new mixtape.
With Beethoven.
Yep.
That's funny.
All right, folks. Well,
Sadly, we have finally reached the end.
Has it been an hour already?
it's been yeah,
Over.
it's been about an hour 10.
Holy cats! All right.
Yeah. So, it was good. Hopefully you got to know this guy a little bit better. He's kind of a random guy.
I'm
We just
very
kind of picked him
random.
off the street.
That's
Yeah.
right. I was wanting to work out, and I was like, "Hey, you want a podcast?" I was like, okay.
Well,
Alrighty.
folks.
So, Levi, we're going to say it at the same time.
Whoa.
Actually, let's all say it.
Keep it-
This right
Oh.
there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, folks, thanks for joining us today, and keep
Keep
her
it
between
between
the
the
ditches.
ditches.